What's up, guys? Skippy Africanus here, and welcome back to another Cartridge of the Week episode, this week featuring the actually fairly common 43 Spanish. So now, first off, we will do what we always do and take a look at the head stamp. Hey guys, what do? There isn't a head stamp. So yeah, I tried looking into, what this means online, because surprisingly, sometimes even when there's not a head stamp, you can actually get a lot of information, based on, how the rim's constructed and all that. However, for this one, I couldn't really find anything other than it was, probably made by Remington here in the States, as Remington didn't tend to leave head stamps on their cartridges. Though that being said, this could also be a reload done by the Spanish, because even though they would actually add their own head stamps occasionally when they would reload the ammunition, they wouldn't do it 100% of the time. So this could either be, new production, never, shot ammunition right from Remington, or it could also be a reload done by the Spanish or one of their colonies. Now, as mentioned, this is actually a fairly common cartridge, at least as far as old school black powder chamberings tend to go. I know for sure down here, I tend to see them quite often for sale at gun shows. Usually it's in the form of loose rounds for collection, and there's good reason for that. However, before we get into that latter part of this cartridge's history, let's first start at the beginning. Despite the name, the cartridge was actually developed here in the United States by Remington in 1867, and it came at the request of the Spanish, who not only were looking to purchase Remington's state-of-the-art rolling block rifles, but they also wanted to be in their own proprietary chambering that the Spanish would later be able to produce. By 1869, the Spanish government purchased 10,000 rolling block rifles along with ammunition from Remington, with plenty more rifles to follow, and they would actually see a decent amount of use across various colonial conflicts, as well as the Spanish-American War, though for that last one, it would mainly be for rear echelon troops, or for when guys couldn't get their hands on the standard 1893 patterned Mausers. Okay, not to interrupt, but I do these videos based on the script, and I just had the idea that they probably used this in the Spanish Civil War because, they used everything in the Spanish Civil War. But I looked it up and I couldn't really find anything, but if I do find something, then there'll be a cool picture, right here. Now, this round would, of course, have various iterations, with the most notable being the 1889 variant that featured, aside from a heavier bullet, one that was also brass jacketed. Now, it should be noted that while talking about the 43 Spanish, that upon adoption, the Spanish would also adopt the 43 Spanish Reformado, which used the same diameter bullet, however, on a straight-walled casing. The 43 Spanish would successfully serve Spain, at least as their official cartridge, till December 7th of 1893, when the previously mentioned Mauser 1893 in its 7mm chambering would replace the rolling block with both the 43 Spanish cartridges. This, of course, would not be an overnight thing, and this 43 Spanish would hold out for a little longer, slowly fading into obscurity. However, the cartridge would see a revival in popularity, though this time with the commercial market in the United States, as plenty of guns and ammunition were sold off as cheap surplus post-World War II. This is also why this cartridge is as common as it is today. Now, so far, we've only mentioned the rolling block when discussing this caliber. However, while that was by far the most popular chambering, it was of course not the only chambering, with guns like the 1869 Spanish Peabody, Whitney-Burgess-Morse lever action, and the model 1879 Lee also being chambered for this cartridge. Now, all that being said, what exactly are the specs for this cartridge? Well, for this variant in particular, we're looking at a .454 diameter bullet with a weight of around 370 grains, flying at around 1,280 feet per second. Now, we mentioned earlier that an 1889 variant, not only featuring a brass jacket, would also feature a heavier bullet. Now, I'm not entirely certain if this is the same grain, or if this is the same style of bullet, which of course lacks the brass jacket, but it does look like the heavier bullet, and if so, if it is using the Reformado bullet, then that would place this one at around 394 grains, definitely on the heavier end of old school black powder cartridges. But anyways, I think that's going to do it for this week's Cartridge of the Week episode featuring the 43 Spanish. I hope y'all enjoyed the video as much as I personally enjoyed making it, and I will see y'all next time.